Welcome to the Midwest Happy Hour. We're your hosts, Lacey and Hayley.
Join us for a drink and a chat with a new Midwest small town perspective on topics that will keep you learning, laughing, and growing.
So let's get into it. Cheers!
Recording audio.
Okay,
Boys and girls and everything in between.
We just got done having a bottle of Prosecco.
We didn't have the whole bottle. Patrick drank some of it too.
I know, because this episode we bring you Patrick,
my honey,
boyfriend, fiance,
yes.
Basically husband.
They've
been together for 13 years.
He asked me to marry him, and I was like, yes.
Years ago.
Later.
I told him that
COVID.
we are planning like a celebration for you guys. Whether you sign a legal document or not, I don't give two shits.
Right.
However, 13 years deserves a celebration.
Celebration of life.
Of love.
Of love.
That's a different celebration. But so I'm gonna plan. I'm gonna help.
It'll be great.
Get that
Everybody's
together.
invited. Any podcast listeners that want to go, like, rate, and subscribe, and you'll be invited.
That's exactly right.
Yes.
You're only getting invited if you do those three things.
If you like, rate, and subscribe.
But so we had him on because it's Black History Month, and if you don't know, now you know, Patrick is mixed.
Yep. His
Half
dad
white, half black.
is a black guy. His mom,
Yes.
super white.
Super right.
She's awesome.
But he talked about like the difference between living in like rural Cooksville and
Colfax,
Cooksville, Colfax, and then also when he lived in Bloomington. So he lived in Bloomington from sometime in elementary school through junior high, and then moved back out to Cooksville, and went to Ridgeview with us in high school. So he talked about those differences.
And just
and
like
we just kind of like shot the shit.
Right. It was just like a kind of a big conversation
we
about
didn't
like
go
how
like
it was.
into like deep Black History Month. It was more so like, let's have him on because he hasn't been on the podcast yet.
Right.
And
This is just the opening. We're opening it up for him because he was a little bit nervous.
Oh, I'm sure.
Just a little bit. But it's because we have so many listeners and everything. He was like, oh, God.
No, it was really fun.
Yeah, it was great.
I love talking to Pat.
I know, me too. We talk a lot, especially when we go like camping and shit. There's nothing else to do but talk to each other.
Right, you should record it and then we'll just post
Ooh, let me know if you guys want us to record the backcountry videos or audio. Probably just audio. We probably be looking all gross.
Oh, goodness.
God. But it was good. I think, and I hope somebody, like, I asked him before we started, I was like, what are your goals for this? You know, like, I think you should go in with goals. And it's like, you know, if somebody that may be listening is like kind of having the same experience as you, maybe they can learn something, you know, from what you have.
Or relate or learn. Like,
Yeah.
So maybe you're someone from the area that we grew up in.
Or not. You maybe you live in a different state or something and you're having the same situation.
Maybe you live in a predominantly white area and
you're different.
Right. Or maybe you're not, and this episode educated you.
Opens your mind. That's what we're looking for.
Or maybe it's like hope that you can help change the minds of maybe your parents or your grandparents.
Right. Because you never know, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
You never know who you're going to fall in love with.
Nope. Love sees no color.
Love sees no color. And if that's all you get out of this episode, that's all you need to get out of this episode.
And then a part of me is like, are people going to see this and be like, two white chicks? Okay.
Well, we're trying.
Yes. Like, give us an A for effort.
Yes, please. Okay.
Also, that's it.
Yep.
So I hope you all enjoy this episode with Pat.
Right, because I think we said we drank mimosas. It was kind of a last minute thing, but they're so good.
Right.
Why not?
I went into this day thinking I'm not going to have a beverage because I might want to work out later. And then we went grocery shopping, and I was like, you know what? F this day.
You know what's at the grocery store? Orange juice. Also champagne.
Also.
Yep. So,
I mean, it wasn't like a hard persuasion.
No. I didn't have to twist anything. We hope you enjoy this episode.
Yep. Thank you again for listening.
Like, rate, subscribe. You're invited to the wedding. Thank you. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Action.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. Cheers.
Today is a good day.
We have my beloved on the pod.
Yay! I'm so excited because Flint's now been on the podcast twice.
I know.
So this is your
Yeah,
debut.
very first time.
Right, and hopefully it's not your last. Hopefully you don't hate us at the end of this.
I think we'll be alright.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be great. And you're on because it's a special month.
Yeah, for me at least.
For you. Yeah. It's Black History Month.
All month.
Yay!
Yes.
Love it. What have you done to celebrate so far?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. Should we be doing anything?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, we shouldn't.
Nothing.
You could be going back to just remember the history.
Right.
I don't know.
I did buy a bonnet for my hair, and he was like, "Wow."
We saw Magic Mike for Black History Month.
That was for Valentine's.
I know.
Oh my god, it was good though.
That's about the only celebrating we've done this month.
I know, but we actually did do Valentine's Day, and it was nice.
Yep,
Yeah,
we did.
and we went out.
And they bought you your 3 favorites.
I know.
Flowers, candy, and a cup.
Yes.
Ooh.
I know. It was a coffee cup with little flowers in it and little candy bars. Oh, yes. You know the way to my heart. Candy and cups. And flowers.
I know we don't need any
I
more.
love it. I know, but it was good. But basically, what we want to talk about today is your little growing upness in life. Being the mixed kid, especially out in Colfax. But wait, where were you born at?
I was born here in Bloomington.
In Bloomington, but and then so you guys lived in
And
Colfax.
I lived in Cooksville.
When in kindergarten, preschool, kindergarten, first grade.
Yeah, first grade, and then
I don't remember you being there.
then
I know.
our trailer burnt down
Oh no.
when we lived there. That's why we moved to Bloomington, because that burnt down. So then we moved to
Do you
Bloomington.
know how?
It was something in the electrical panel.
Oh,
I
okay.
believe.
Your brother was trying to make a fan out of a weed eater.
No,
or-
that's long down the road. Yeah, they do that now. That wasn't back then.
I guess he would have been. You guys would have been really
We had
little.
burnt downs, but yeah, kindergarten to first
And
grade.
who was
the
your-
first week of first grade?
Oh, that was it, and then you guys moved.
Yeah.
Who was your kindergarten teacher?
Miss Thompson?
Tompkins.
Tompkins?
Yeah,
Miss
me
Tompkins.
too. Was that your kindergarten teacher?
Tillman.
Oh, that's right. But I literally do not remember. But also, I don't know. How
Well, I
much
can't
do we
believe you don't
remember?
remember me.
I know. I don't know how I know.
You know
But
the
you know
thing-
who I do remember? Corey, because he drug me by my hair across the playground.
When we were in kindergarten?
Yeah.
Well, that was a nice kickstart to his life, huh?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Projection.
I used to be in love with Morgan in
Oh.
kindergarten. I vividly remember that.
Didn't she kiss you?
Something like that. But I
Or-
vividly remember, I love Morgan. I thought we were going to get married and all that stuff.
I mean, that's funny that mine was Vinny.
Oh,
I
man.
literally told my mom I couldn't see, so she took me to the doctor's office. I said I was seeing double, and I lied. I remember lying to the doctor about what I was seeing so that I could get glasses because Vinny had glasses. Crazy.
Yeah, it is
Like,
wild.
crazy kid.
And we were 5.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's oh God, what a wonderful world you're gonna come into with your boys. It's so weird,
Yeah.
but
No, it is.
And I
yeah.
mean, as far as starting off out there in Colfax,
Yeah.
I don't really remember a whole lot, but I've always been in Colfax. Even though we moved to Bloomington,
Right.
I've
Right.
always been out. My grandparents were out there. Most of my family was always out there, and I would always go and
Yeah.
stay all summer. And
Yeah.
Weekends, I was always
When
out there.
you lived in Cooksville for the first time, was your dad with you guys then, or were your mom and him never really together? I guess.
So
I
my
don't know.
biological father?
Yes.
Yeah, so he's never really been in the picture.
Okay.
So
Okay.
at all, really. I mean, I've met him probably 3 times.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
he hasn't really been in the picture. He's
Yeah.
been that stereotypical.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
in all
it's
honesty,
true.
that's-
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, that
Right.
is the reality of it. But
Yeah.
that's what he's always been.
Well,
Met
and
him a couple times.
Your brother, your next brother, is only what, a year and a half younger.
Year and a half.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
So
Yeah,
your
year and a half
mom
younger.
and you don't have the same dad as your 3 brothers,
No.
but your mom met their dad which is your dad, that's
Right.
dad.
I was I think 3 or 4 months old whenever
Right.
like my stepdad dad came into the picture.
Okay.
Right. So like that's your dad.
Yeah,
Like,
that's my dad. That's who I associate dad with.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, he raised me.
and he's a crazy guy.
Crazy guy.
He really is. He still is. Like,
He is definitely.
oh
But
yeah. But so like you did what? Okay. Back up a little bit to before. No, just kidding. But whenever you were little, like one of my favorite stories that your mom tells is when you were like 4 and you were wondering why you were like darker than your brothers.
Yes.
And your mom was like, "Well, you spend a lot of time playing outside."
Yeah. So
like,
that's what she had told me. She goes, so you play outside more because, you know, I have 3 younger brothers. They're white.
Right.
And I'm not.
Yeah.
And, you know, as a 4-year-old and younger, how do you explain to your child,
Right.
like, how I'm different than them?
At that point, did you know that, like...
I mean, I had an idea that I was different, but not necessarily different.
Right, but
Right.
wait, so your dad was your dad when you were like 3, 4 months old. So
Yeah.
when you were growing up, did you like think that he was your biological dad, or was there like a time where like, oh, that's not my like? Did you have?
I think
to
I'm
learn
probably
that?
about like 7 or 8 when I was like,
Oh.
that's not
I think-
like my dad. You know, so yes, I thought that was
okay.
like my dad for
Yeah.
till about 7 or 8. Like,
Wow.
I was like, wait a minute.
but you found out in
Because so back to the story.
Yeah.
Anyway, she told me that I played outside more, so that's why, and I have good pigment, so that's why I'm darker.
good melanin. Your mom's just trying to
like,
like
you
come
know,
up with words
it backfired on her one day while we were in the grocery store because we were sitting there, and I guess I was in the shopping cart, and I just point out and go, "Look, Mom, that guy stayed out in the sun way too long."
some
And
black
she was
guy.
just super embarrassed, and
Some
to this day she's like, "I regret telling you that."
Some innocent black man at the grocery store, and she goes, the look on that guy's face was like, what the fuck are you teaching this kid? You know?
Yeah, like she
But
regrets
what do
that
you
too.
do? What do you tell
Right.
like a little kid? Like,
Right.
well,
Especially when you're like caught off guard and you're not prepared to answer it.
Right.
right? Yeah, exactly. So
Or
she
like
had to be
explain, because
well,
I couldn't imagine Grant being 3 and a year from now him asking, like if something like that were to be like, oh goodness, I don't know how I'd be able to explain.
Right, it's just weird.
But
Yeah.
to go into like 7 or 8 and
Yeah.
not like have a full understanding of the situation, do you wish she would have told you sooner, or did you have to come to that conclusion on your own? Or
I kind of just came to that on my own.
do you
She
wish
didn't
she
really,
would have like explained it?
some, but not really. I mean, I don't.
It's kind of nice to live in like the unknown.
Right,
It's
right.
nicer to live in the unknown, but then it was like there was just one day where I was like, wait a minute.
Is that guy?
You know, like, yeah, I mean, that's dad, but that's not dad.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
then that's whenever I started asking about my dad and
Yeah.
like my biological father and all that stuff, and then my mom was like, okay, well, here's the thing.
What had happened was
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
17 and
Yep. And she,
Yeah.
she explained the whole spiel to me about that, and I was like, oh, you know.
Okay.
And then it was never like, no, you can't never see him or anything like that. It was just like, okay, you're old enough now. This is who he was. This is what happened.
Yeah.
If you want to know and have a relationship with him, you're more than welcome.
right.
Yeah.
But
Is it different too? Because also when you were 7 and 8, you were living in Bloomington and going to school at like whatever elementary and stuff, and there's
I
like,
went to Kingsley.
but there's
Okay.
other
The
black
Parkside.
kids there.
Yeah.
Whereas if you stayed at Ridgeview, like there's one you when you came back in high school. Like there's
was-
no.
There was like a family, so
Yeah, there was a
Right.
Yeah.
There's a couple, but like living in Bloomington, you're like, oh, okay, I see what's going on.
Yeah,
here.
but I mean, also, like, living in Bloomington, like, yeah, there was Asians, blacks,
Yeah.
Right.
whites, all this, like, you were diversified there.
Yeah.
You know, like, I grew up with that, but then also on the weekends I was going out to where I was the only black kid. You
Yeah.
know, it was like,
right.
that was kind of a weird.
But it was fun being
Thing.
on the farm, though, right?
Yeah, it was,
like,
oh man, it was so much fun being on the farm. It really was,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm glad that I got to experience both sides of it necessarily.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like I'm not just so like all city or
Right.
all country per
Right.
se.
Right.
You know, like I've got to experience both, which is really nice.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Right, I agree with that, and that's what I struggle with the kids. Is like I like hold like near and dear to my heart a small school.
Yeah.
And like living out in the country, and I just want to give that to them.
Right.
But I'm also nervous that they'll go to a school that has no diversity. And we've talked about this before. Like when I went to Lakeland, I felt like a little shell-shocked. Like I didn't know how to experience people that didn't live like the same lifestyle or talk the same way as me.
Right.
And it was just a learning experience that I wish I would have had
prior
to
going to
Right.
college when you're 18 years old. You're like,
Yeah.
oh shit, other people have cultures, you know, instead of like,
Yeah.
what do you guys do on the weekend? Go play in the
you're just
river?
Exposed to so much more whenever you're going to a bigger school.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
with all that compared to like us going to Ridgeview. Like, so what? I come back in high school.
Right.
So like going.
But you had to
What
like hung out. I mean,
Yes,
and
I've been. At
we all
Colfax
knew
forever,
each
my
other.
whole life.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I just didn't go to school. Like I didn't
Yeah.
grow up in school with you guys all the
Right.
time. Like, we
And I would
knew
always
who
hear
all
about
this-
Patrick
I was in love
like from,
I'm sure.
from Hayley.
early,
Bye.
early MySpace
Yeah.
days.
Why wasn't I around like before then? Or was I?
We did.
And I
Remember, we met Patrick at the
Was I
same time.
black this time out?
Dude, do
I
you
don't know.
remember?
No. Yep.
Should we tell the infamous we met Pat? No, I already told this. I think when we
Yeah.
talked about the alcohol episode, the very first time we met Patrick, like in person,
Oh.
was when we were drinking out back
Okay.
at Libby's
Yeah.
house, and, we
And I was like, I
buzzed
can't
it.
hang around these kids.
Yeah. Well, and I was very against that stuff too. I was like,
He was anti.
"Are you kidding me?"
He was not smoking weed or anything.
Oh.
Like he was looking at me like this is a fucking bad girl right here, like smoking weed and drinking. Like
Yeah.
what?
Sorry.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
not about that.
And
at
we
that
were
point.
12. I mean, like how much? Yeah.
Right, I
Bad
wasn't,
kid.
and maybe you can like think back to that time. Like I wasn't like that because I saw my mom, and I didn't want that for myself. So it was
Right.
like that kind of.
Yeah, I'd be about the same way.
Yeah, just
Especially
like-
on like the alcohol part.
Yeah.
You know, like cause like my dad was an alcoholic.
I forget. Yeah, I forgot when we were little kids. You said we were talking about like kindergarten or something yesterday, and you said you smacked Will with a workbench or something.
Yeah,
or,
so like I was work on the workbench over there, like
In
little
kindergarten.
kid workbench or whatever, and I vividly remember smacking Will because he come over to try and play, and I smacked him with a hammer because I was like, "Get away from my workbench." You know, and then we ended up being best friends now
I
to
know.
this day. It's
Oh
like,
my
I freaking love that story. It's
Like-
so funny. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
yeah, and Will tell you the same thing. You know, he's just like, "Dude, you hit me in the head with that."
Like he remembers too. He's like, God, you really beat the crap out of me when we were 5.
Will has always been a character.
Yes, for sure.
Like
Yeah, he's a character.
He's a character.
I always enjoyed like hanging out with him in band because that's really the only class that we had together.
Yeah.
Yep, and
Before
he was
you
always
both,
on
and we were
one.
both in percussion, so we were just sit back there and like shoot the shit like the whole entire time. And he's like kind of being a dick to me, but also being like really nice. Like I don't know.
Oh
Will.
man, remember
I
he used to
remember
get
the time where he was
so
like,
pissed
yes.
off at us because fucking Cole and I would be like we knew our music, and we were just like screwing off, and he would like, "Get it together,"
Yes.
and I'm just like,
I used to get so red, so red.
Oh my
It's like,
god.
all right,
You guys are
It's
funny.
not
You
that
little
serious.
percussionists. Yeah.
But I remember one time we were sitting in the back, and he pointed out to me that I had nose hairs, and I was like, "Okay, dick." Like,
Ah, that's so mean.
I've never forgotten.
Yeah. People don't forget.
Every time I'm trimming them, I'm like, Will.
That is the best. Oh my god. But so when you were in like elementary and junior high, like in Bloomington, you were still, I want to talk about like the farm a little bit because your grandpa was like a mechanic,
Like the
basically.
mechanic, he was just
the
like
mechanic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like everybody brought their car to
Right.
get worked on out there, and
Which
I
is
learned a lot from
literally
him.
the best, yeah, because you
Yeah.
learned literally everything and you like actually like absorbed it and stuff. Because I'm wondering, like in Bloomington, were your friends working on cars and shit on the
No,
weekends?
the friends were doing stupid stuff for the
Yeah,
most part.
like even in junior high, like elementary and junior high.
it was a typical junior high like troublemaking type stuff, but
Right.
also they weren't doing like working on cars or going
Yeah.
and like riding 4-wheelers or like fixing something. That was
Yeah.
always like, yeah, we're hanging out, we may play video games,
Right.
you know, and do that, but then also like let's go to the store and try and steal something. And I'm like, hell no. I ain't doing that. Like,
so, did they think it was weird? You'd be like, I just went and worked on a old Chevy truck all weekend with my grandpa, and they would be like,
they'd be like, oh, okay, you know.
They're like, we don't.
I would have been like, that is the coolest thing.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them weren't really in.
Because it's like such a
in
different lifestyle. Like when you do separate like small town versus big town, and you're immersed in like inner city life. Right. I feel like they'd
rather go to the arcade or go and,
like it's just such a different.
You don't like play outside because what is there? You know, I mean, we would just go outside and just like go to the park or like play in the backyard or how much hide and seek.
Get your Tonka trucks out, you know, or dig tunnels for your racetracks for your Matchbox cars, you know. Like.
Yeah. Plus, but you also had like 3 little brothers. Did you like have to? Was your mom like freaking play with them today or else? But there is 3 of them, so then it would be like
sometimes. You would. And then they always make me fight people.
Your brothers did?
Oh yeah.
That must be a younger brother thing because that's what my dad.
They would be like, "Oh, hey, Patrick's gonna come and he's gonna beat you up," and I'm like, "Dude, really?" Like there's probably 5 fights for sure that Nick and Chris both started, which are my 2 younger brothers.
And you had to finish the fights.
They didn't even. Yeah, they started a fight with their mouth, and I had to get physical and finish it. And it's like, dude.
Like, I'm tired of doing this. I don't want to stick up for you anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
you don't fucking deserve it either. Little shit talkers. Oh my god, that is.
Were you much of like a fighter?
I mean, not if I didn't have to be.
Okay.
But I will.
Like, yeah, I don't remember you ever like.
Not in high school.
Well, and also remember how you and Cole became best friends, like because
through extremely racist jokes.
Yeah.
One of my bestest friends is how we became friends. Was we were there at football practice and he was looking at me and I was looking at him and I was like, who's this guy? And he's thinking the same thing. And then he makes a racist joke, and I go, "Ha! I got a better one." And he's like, "I kind of like this guy."
Best friends forever.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you had to, like, adapt? So when you moved back to Colfax, or Cooksville, because, right, you moved back to Cooksville.
Yeah, where we would hang out in the trailer. Yeah.
So when you moved back, did you feel like you had to, like, adapt or change your personality in terms of, like, being able to get along with a white school?
I mean, a little bit, but not really, just because, I mean, I kind of had an idea of who everybody was already, but also I've been very good at blending. Yeah. Just because I've had the experience from being in Bloomington and being in the small town, being the only black kid.
Yeah. Is that annoying?
Sometimes.
Because it's like, do you feel like then you can't like be yourself? Because it's like yes and no, like you just kind of like...
I mean, there's
so the weirdest...
very seldomly where I feel like I can't be myself necessarily. Yeah. Because it took like the longest time, like we go and I don't want to say white functions, but like I'd be immersed in this function and then I would just all of a sudden be like, I'm the only black guy here. Like, this is weird.
Yeah.
But then also I've been put in a situation where like I was the only or I was with my grandma of my biological father. Mm-hmm. We went and did a function with them at a cookout, and it's a completely different deal to where I'm the black guy, but I'm the white guy.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I'd be like,
either way, you're the outcast.
Yeah.
Like, right. Like the outcast.
Outcast, yeah. Like, because they're like, well, this isn't the, he's kind of the white kid, but then when you go to white people stuff, they're like, well, the black kid's here, but you're not really.
Like, I've always kind of felt like the in-between. Yeah. Always. Like, there's always.
I like, get confused. Okay, this might be a very stupid question. No question,
a stupid question.
Because so like I watched The Real Housewives of Potomac, and all the women on the cast are black, but like their skin tone variations are different.
Yeah.
But how do you know if someone's mixed versus not? Because there are women that are on the show who have maybe a little bit lighter skin, but they could be way down along the line, but like
Right.
both their biological parents are black. So then it's like, so
They're
how
just
do people
light-skinned.
know? So if you walk into a room, it's like, how do they know? Oh, he's mixed.
Oh, we've had instances for sure, but someone's called you young blood before.
What does that mean?
Like you're like
You're a young black kid, like you're a young black fellow to an old school. Like an old school is like an older black guy, older gentleman, and a young blood is like, at the time I was probably 19.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, young blood. It's just different terminology in different cultures.
But the
Yes.
craziest
So-
one,
See, and that's something that I wish I would have like experienced more as a kid.
right?
Like different verbiage, the way people like communicate to each other. Like it's just so
Yeah.
Yeah.
interesting and like I just love it. And I wasn't exposed to any of that.
Right, when I got to experience that by hanging out with this guy. Remember that time we were at Casey's in Colfax, and there was this black guy that we'd never seen before. Like, we're in the checkout line, and he's like right in front of us, and he was like talking, and in the middle of his sentence, he just like turns around and goes, "Sup, half breed," to Patrick.
Hell.
And I was just like,
Is that offensive?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like,
what
okay.
the fuck? Did that really just happen?
Did he say, guess what? I'm not gonna have hip issues or joint issues. I'm gonna grow and be really strong and big.
Black don't crack is what he
Yeah,
always says.
exactly.
Like,
So-
I'm gonna look like an old fuck, and he's gonna be like the same age.
That's call myself a hybrid
Yes.
because I get the best of both.
Right.
Like,
But that's one of those things, if you want to go into, like, my side of the family, whenever we started dating, is it was so crazy when we started going out.
nerve-wracking?
Dude, it was.
nerve-wracking would be putting it lightly.
Because he stayed away for
I know.
And it would be like a point of contention, because I would be like,
Come hang out with us, and he'd be like, no.
and not even just like us, but like my dad's side of the family.
Yes, yeah.
They were like, and Patrick was like, I'm not. And I go, they're fine. They like you. Like, my dad's mom would say, I don't care if a black man cooks my eggs.
Right.
And that,
It's like
that's
that
a different
generation,
time as
for
they were
sure.
raising that.
That's
But-
just how they were raised. Like,
right.
it's
And,
not.
obviously, we've been together 13 years.
Right.
Will be. So, about
Cheers to that.
5 years in, I got in my mind, I was like, I'm going to change
Yeah,
the way that they view black people in general. Like, even
Yeah.
me, yes, but just in general.
Yeah.
Like, you
Right.
don't need to say profanities and
No.
stuff like that all the time. Like, because I'm just a person, too.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, yes, I may look different,
Yeah.
but I'm also a person, too. And it just,
Yes.
I just kept drilling that.
Yeah.
And it
That
got
is
It
weird.
weird.
blows
It's
my
just like-
mind that when I even like think back to slavery and like those times, I'm like, how in the actual F did white people think that they were better than X, Y, like it?
And they still do. I mean, like,
Yes,
it's,
there's definitely that still
Yeah.
in today's day, but I just get so confused. Like,
we're all just human
In what
beings.
world?
It's weird.
yes, it's weird. It's so
to
weird
think
to
because your skin color or something that you're like better than somebody is just.
yes.
Is wild.
But people were raised like that. I mean,
Yeah.
what are you supposed to do? I mean, so little like blip out of that is your grandma and grandpa, your mom's mom and dad owned the bar when you were born, and like your mom was like 18 when she had you.
She was 17.
When she had you, she was still 17.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so then they were like, "Oh, look at this little like this is the
It was
black
like a
baby."
little trophy
Yeah,
around the town.
it
For
was
real.
like a big
It
deal.
really was. So the reason why I'm named Patrick Eugene Kirby is because they gave my mother an ultimatum because she got pregnant by a black man that she would have nowhere to go unless she named the baby after them.
His grandma and grandpa. Yeah.
Crazy little fact there, huh?
Yeah, literally.
You got hung
Like,
up on the name?
yes, because your
They
mom
were
was
just-
gonna name you like.
Dietrich. I don't know why.
So it's like, I
Yeah.
get it. No, that's terrible. But still, it's just like it's crazy. It was 1993. It was a different time, you know. I mean, like,
But that seems just so like.
But it's
okay,
weird.
you're not gonna have a place to live
Yeah.
if
So-
you don't name them after us because
Right.
Right.
You have an interracial child.
Right, and so it was super controversial, like them owning the bar. And at the same time that your grandparents owned the bar, my mom worked there, and that's where my mom and dad met.
That's so funny.
And so I was born like 3 months later or whatever after you, or 3 months later. And so it's just like a weird like thing.
Right. When I think about Flint and weird stuff like that pops up like based on like past, like his dad got in a car accident, literally the same exact place that my mom's mom died in a car accident.
Whoa.
That is wild.
Weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
A year apart from each other.
Whoa. Yeah, that's super weird.
That's a crazy coincidence.
Yeah.
Like you didn't know him until...
So it's like, just weird things like that. I'm like, that just is like proof that we are on the right path. Like, we were supposed to meet, we were supposed to be together. So it's like, when you think about things like
I know, I asked Dad one time, I was like, did you ever think, like, seeing Patrick, you know, like, everybody always wants to hook up little kids. You know, they're like, oh, who's your boyfriend? Like, oh, when Patrick was a baby, were you like, I'm about to have a baby too, you guys?
Probably like, please, Lord, no.
Yeah, exactly, though. I was
time.
like, yes,
Right.
that's probably, like, they probably never would have thought. And I just can't imagine, like, what's going through their mind now, like, versus what they were thinking in 1993, and now, like, seeing us being together, they're probably like, well, that was probably fucked up, what we were saying back in the day, you know?
Now that
like,
they actually know who Patrick is and know that, again, like you're saying, you're just a person.
Yes,
yeah.
They have apologized. Like, we go down there to the horse barn and we've been partying and we've gotten real liquored up and they've like apologized. And then they're like, you know, like, I love you, Patrick. You know, like, you're a good guy. And I'm just like, I know I am, but like, I'm glad that you realize that now. And just like,
and you should feel really good that you felt confident enough to go down there
it took
with
a
Hayley. While. I know, but even though it took you a while, like, you should feel really good that you felt that courage to go down there and then also change their minds and get them to see a different perspective, because then that stops like the cycle.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Also, a lot of them have grandkids that are mixed.
They just be nice people. I don't know.
Yes. So like,
I
why
let people live their life. Like, why do we feel like
put
we
good
have to
energy
interject?
into the world
Yes.
and just
You'll
live your
receive
life.
good energy. Just mind your business.
Yes.
Mind your business.
But also another funny thing was when we were like 15, 16 and we like started dating, my dad was like, he would always just be like, and like he didn't want to hear about it, you know, because I'm like, I have a boyfriend and stuff, and he would just be like, God damn it, and whatever, and I'd be like, Dad, get over it. He's black. Like, it is what it is. And he goes, Hayley, I don't care if he's black. Are you sure you want to date a Kirby? And I was like, oh my God, is that what this is about? Well, he's dating a Harris, so there must be something wrong with him too. So, you know, like, it's fine. We're good, you know?
Right, which is that, so as far as small town, big town goes, that is kind of a crazy thing, is like, your last name in a small town is like, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Compared to living here in Bloomington, like, people
don't
they
care.
don't look twice at you, you know, as far as your last name, unless you're, you know, like someone super, super, super important. But then when you get into a small town, they're like,
like,
well, what, you know, these people have known each other for 50 years, and they're like, well, that one time, you know, he did that to this, and that's why, blah, blah, you know, it's like, well, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But, you know, in Bloomington, you wouldn't even think twice about it.
Right. Yeah, and definitely, like, that's one of those things in Colfax, you're like, well, I'm a Kirby, and people are like, oh.
Yeah.
And
who's
like,
your grandparents, and who's your mom, and who's your cousin, uncle,
yes.
third cousin, twice removed,
God.
who's that?
Did I tell you that literally happened to me at the bar? I got a call a couple weeks ago, and this lady was like, I'm coming out in the middle of May, and we're going to do like a graveside memorial for my son, and probably there's going to be like 20 people to come to the bar, whatever. So she's trying to like set this thing up, but it was kind of funny because it was like at noon on a Thursday, and in my mind I'm just like, it's fine, lady, like whatever you want to do. But she goes into like, well, my name's this, and like, what's your last name? And so I'm like, well, I'm a Harris, and she's like, oh, well, my son's uncle from his dad's side lived across the street from your dad, and I'm just like, oh my god, I spent like 10 minutes on the phone with this lady to just like tell her my freaking like life story, I guess, you know, like, oh yeah, cool, I know that your uncle lived over here, so you must have been related to these people, and she was like, oh, my maiden name is this, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is exhausting, like, and at the end, I'm just like, okay, I definitely know who this lady is now, I guess.
Yeah, right.
Like, other than that, I don't really know. But yeah, shit like that is funny, just like last name stuff. When you moved to Bloomington, why did you, or when
why did you guys
move back to, like, you moved to Bloomington because your trailer burnt down.
Mm-hmm.
And then you went through, like, junior high, and then your mom was like, we're moving back to Cooksville. Let's freaking do it. That was just like...
Yeah, I don't really know why we moved back.
Yeah?
Because we were in the trailer park. We were in the trailer park, and Mom done did a bunch of work in that trailer. And I thought, that's, to me, at that time,
Did your mom...
young kid, I was like, this is our forever home, you know? Great, cool, you know?
Did your mom ever not do work on any place that
No,
she...
never. If she's not busy, she's not. If she isn't busy, then she's not okay. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
But...
Were you mad that you moved?
No.
No.
I was mad that I moved to Bloomington. I would have rather just stayed out there.
Yeah.
Because I was going there every weekend my entire childhood.
Anyways,
like,
yeah.
Summers there, you know, with my cousins. I was always there all summer doing all that stuff. So it was like, I'd rather be out there, but we had to live here. But, you know, they had a business and everything they were running here and doing all that stuff. So it was more convenient for them. But honestly, I don't know why we moved back to
Maybe
Colfax.
give Michelle a call. What's up, Mom? Why did we move back to Colfax?
Yeah, really?
But that was the best. Dude, those times that we spent in that trailer in Cooksville when we would drive over there and stuff. Oh, so much fun.
Dude, I knew you were the one when you pulled up, blasting your music so loud, and then with windows down, I go, oh, God, I love that.
And your mom was like, your mom couldn't even hear anything because her music was so loud in the house anyways, all the windows open. Yeah. She's like wow. Cleaning and stuff. Like, she is so much
She's
fun.
Great.
Yeah, I love her. She was the best. When I went to Florida when I was like 15, when I came back, your mom was like standing outside and she goes, all right, Hayley, I've been tanning. Like, let's compare. It made me like compare tan. She goes, ah, shit. I thought I would have you beat. And I was like, I was in Florida in the sun for like 2 weeks. Yeah, fast friends. That was like the best. Your mom is the best. That's why you turned out to be the best. Because your mom is freaking nuts. But she's so much
nuts,
fun.
But I love her.
Yeah. Dude, that one day I pulled up like that. I just loved when you guys lived in the trailer. Because I just pull up and it'd be like, I have no idea what's going to be happening. She had like a screwdriver in her back pocket and she's like taking the door off her truck and like yeah, she worked on the trailer doors all the time. Like, it was literally
crazy. It was really crazy.
Yes.
Cut this out.
Oh, but it's so much fun. No, we're not cutting this out at all. Like, I hope your mom listens to this. Maybe this will get her into it.
No, we'll cut out whatever you want, Patrick, because we would like to have you back on sometime.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't.
But,
yeah. But, yeah. Oh, shit. I was going to ask something about, like, when we first started dating. And you refused to, like, go. So, like, the horse barn is, like, the hangout for, like, my dad's side of the family. And it's definitely, like, redneck shit and all that stuff. And you would always be like, I just can't, like, it's too much. But remember when we went on family vacation to it was the reunion?
And I drove the motorhome?
Yeah, to my uncle's house.
Yeah.
That was the best. That was, like, your introduction into, like, because I don't even know if you'd met, like, my Aunt Jackie and, like, my dad's older siblings.
I never met them at all.
And we stayed at my Uncle Dale's house. And that's, like, intimidating because he's, like,
He wouldn't let me go down in the gun room.
Yes.
He was like very standoffish, you know, towards me. And
he's 17 years older than my dad, so like he's like, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, we were over there, we were having a good time, and like they all went down because he has it was like a gun cellar, like he has a.
And he has like a geothermal like thing.
Yeah, but he was just like, we were all going, and he's like, no, Oh.
Yeah.
All
Didn't
right.
let him down there.
I was like, man, okay.
Yep, this
Like,
is what it is,
I
I
was like,
guess.
yeah. I see.
One of those things.
Just-
Yeah, awkward.
Yeah.
Oh, when I first...
Oh, sorry. You can go ahead.
Well, when I showed a picture of him to Aunt Jackie,
Yeah.
she goes, "Oh, he's black," and I was like, "Yes." She goes, "It's fine," or whatever. But she was just like, "Take it," like she was
take
like,
it back.
"Oh shit!" Like
Whoa.
caught me off guard there, and I was like, I didn't know if I was supposed to warn you or
Right.
whatever. But turned out fine.
Right.
Yeah, she freaking loves you.
Yeah, dude, I'm just a regular old guy.
I know.
Yes.
What does it take to get these white people to understand?
I know. It's so weird.
How is
Anybody.
it like when you go to Talladega? Because I think of NASCAR. I think it's predominantly
Greatest time I've
white.
ever had in my life.
People love him.
Greatest time I've ever had in my life. Like,
Yeah.
as far, like the main media, you know, when they were, like, getting rid of the rebel flag and all that
Yeah.
stuff. I've never had one racist thing or any racist feeling ever since the first time we've gone to last year.
They're just
Never,
happy to
not one
see him
time.
there.
Yeah. Yeah, Billy, man, he loves me. This kid Billy we met, man, he's just like, woo, dude, what's up? But,
Made some pickle moonshine,
yeah.
and we're just like, go
you know,
away.
I mean, granted, that's a different environment, you know, like, people are there to party, but, like, yeah, we're in the South.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Never once.
no.
People are
And
respectful.
I feel like people, they don't necessarily tie NASCAR with like racist people, but I don't know.
Kind
like,
of. It
when
should-
you-
it
when
should
you
be.
think of it like
The South,
yeah.
rednecks,
Yeah.
etc. Rebel flag. I mean, like,
Right.
yeah, but and there's been what 2 black guys in NASCAR, like ever, and Bubba.
Right.
He's our.
Yeah.
He's
he
our
pisses
North
me
Star.
off every now and then, though.
I know. He does.
Oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you. All of a sudden I heard a Grant say, Kyle Busch. And I was like, are you saying Kyle Busch?
I've been teaching him
Dude,
about
do
Kyle
this,
Busch.
yeah.
He goes, yeah.
We've been watching NASCAR every Monday. I watched the replay of the race with him, and I go,
Make a redneck
"Fuck
of that boy after a while, huh?
Yeah. I go, we don't like Kyle Busch. He goes, Kyle
He was
Busch.
as clear as day saying his name. And I was like,
Yes.
that name sounds familiar. Oh my gosh, now I know why.
Aunt Hayley's corrupting the kids
Great.
already.
He'll end up being a Kyle Busch fan.
Oh no.
But it was so random.
Kyle Busch.
Come out of nowhere.
I freaking love it so much. Oh my god, that is literally the best. No racist shit has ever happened at Talladega, and I don't know.
No.
That's
I'm trying to think of like when we go like travel. Like the only weird shit that I can really think of right now is when we stopped at that Waffle House in Jackson, Mississippi,
Yep.
and they were like, "Why is this black man muddying the waters with this white lady?" That
What?
It was
also
like a reverse racism.
yeah, like I
type
also
thing.
had dreads, and so it looks like
Yeah.
I'm like trying to like do something, and we were the only ones in there.
Yeah.
And he would not enunciate his words. The waiter did not. He
Oh,
goes,
no, I could.
and we're just like, what?
Right.
And he kept saying it again, and we're like, I'm looking at him, and I go, I'm looking at the waiter, and I go, I'm sorry, what? And he's like, and I go, we're from Illinois.
Yeah,
And I point out to the car,
And he looks
and he goes,
over
"Oh, y'all on the same ticket?" And I'm like, "Yes." Like, Jesus Christ, it's fine. Just put it all together,
Right.
please.
Right.
Like, let us get out of here. That was the only like weird thing where I was like, they do not want
Oh,
us to like
yeah,
be
like the
mixing
group that was
races.
sitting up that like the counter, you know, like I was a
Yeah,
entourage of people, and they were just looking at me like,
I don't think there was any white people
"Are
in
you
that town.
shitting me?" Well, it's Jackson, Mississippi.
right, exactly.
Like it's a
Yeah.
completely different dynamic.
Yeah,
now.
I never like partied there before or anything. I don't know, you know what the deal is, but
How do you
Small,
uh,
sheltered children.
So my question is, how do you feel about Hayley's dreads?
I don't mind them.
You don't.
I don't think that she's like culturally appropriating or
Right,
anything like
we
that.
got
you know?
comments that her hair's cultural appropriation, and then as like you read the comments further, there were more people saying, "I'm pretty sure white people are the only ones saying that it's cultural appropriation."
black
You
people.
know who had dreads first? pirates.
Right, like
pretty sure they didn't have hairbrushes out there, you know, like,
But,
Right.
and only, like, I get comments on my dreads, I never get any negative ones, really.
right.
But
Anytime I'm with you and we're out in public,
they're like, I love it.
Yeah.
Black people love them. Remember those guys touched them all over the place when we were at that bar?
Yeah.
They were like,
But, like-
just like grabbing at my hair. I'm just like, yeah, they're
I don't
regular.
get like
Personal
the.
space, everyone.
I
Yeah.
mean, I do and I don't get like the culture appropriation thing.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Because if someone likes something, then that shouldn't that be a compliment versus like taking offense
Right,
to
like
it?
you're
Right.
trying to steal our culture.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
But
like, why-
I love like the one thing I loved about Cabo is like I wanted to like immerse myself into like their culture. I don't think we did it as much,
Right.
but I
Right.
wanted to like go to more of like those taco places that we went to.
Right.
I
Yes.
wanted
Yeah,
to
because
do
that
more
was
of
definitely
that.
like.
Where they,
Like, I
like,
want to
where they
like
don't
I
speak
want to
English.
absorb people's culture so that I can like implement what I love from it into my life.
I know.
Right.
Yeah, agree. Yep.
Like I think that I don't know. I just think it's a compliment. It's annoying that people take so much offense to things because, like, if you love it and I see that you love it, I'm gonna be happy that you love it.
Right.
Right.
And that's the only experience pretty much that I've had with my dreads is like, and a lot of the time it's black people and they're like, oh my god, like I love your dreads. And I'll be like, I've been growing them for like 8 years. And they're like, holy shit, like, and that's all your hair. And I'm like, yep, I just like had my friend back comb it. And now I go get it taken care of by a girl. And they're like, I love it. Like, keep it up. Whatever.
Yeah.
Like everybody, I mean, I've never had anybody be like, ew. Or, you know what it is it's always white people, and they go, so you wash your hair, or, like, how do you wash it? And I'm just like, do you wash your hair?
Right.
Like, why, also, why do you care?
Right.
Like, it's weird.
And
I
that
don't
was one of the
smell
comments
bad.
was like, let her live her life.
Yeah.
Who are you?
I don't brush
Yeah,
my
right.
hair. It's because it's annoying. And I did it for 21 years, and I was like,
It doesn't
I'm
smell.
over this.
It really don't.
Right.
he would tell me. He would be
It
like,
would.
it's gross.
I would be like, you're done.
He would be the first one to be
Yeah.
like, you're disgusting. Wash your hair or brush your hair or whatever.
And if you didn't wash it, they would have fallen out by now.
You
It's
would
been
think.
Like, what, 6 years? 7
Literally
years?
8 years.
8.
February 1st was the anniversary of me like getting
Good
dreads.
lord, yeah. So.
Yeah, that's weird. When I was 21.
Is there anything that you regret? Because it's not like you can take them out and redo them. Would you?
Yeah, I
have,
can.
Oh, like completely?
Yeah,
But that
you
would
can brush
take-
them out.
that
It would
would
just take a long time.
A long
But like
ass time.
I've
But I'm saying, like, is there anything that you regret that you wish you would have done differently when you first got them? Like, in terms of, do you wish they were done smaller? Do you wish that they were?
So I got them done by like a friend of a friend, and she just like backcombed them, and then I like palm rolled them, and then like 2.5 years in, I went to a music festival. Duh, that's where somebody was like, I know somebody that can help you with your dreads. And so I found that girl in East Peoria, Megan. She is the shit, Blush Studio. Anyways, and so I went to her, and she uses like crochet hook to like tighten them up and stuff. And I wish I would have went to her first.
Yeah.
But she said, when I went to her, she said the girl that did them did a really good job. And I was like, I wish they would have been smaller. And she was like, your hair is so thick that if you would have made them smaller, it would have taken like a lot longer, and it would be a lot more like maintenance. So they are like a good size and
Right.
everything. And I like them. I like the way they're like parted and everything. I used to have my bangs out, and I was like, fuck that. So I got them dreaded.
I do kind of miss your soft hair, though.
I know you
Every
do.
now and then. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, you did have a nice soft hair.
I know, I did have nice hair. Like, that's what the people at the bar are always like, your hair was so pretty. And I'm just like, I know, but look at other people's pretty hair. Mine's gonna be like this, because I don't want to freaking brush it anymore, or have maintenance, or like static, or like riding on my scooter, or like with the top down. Everything's just blowing around in the breeze.
She's gonna
Like,
be 60 years old, still rocking these.
they're gonna be
Oh,
gray
that's
dreads.
true.
I'm gonna just
Yep.
let them go gray. Like, it's gonna be freaking great. I literally do not see me like taking them out at all. I don't. I
like,
love
even
them.
to just like redo them or no?
Fuck it. I like them. I'm gonna keep them
So
forever.
what happens when you like want them trimmed?
I just cut it.
Cut it and then do you have to like seal it at the end?
So I just like I brush my ends out. I think
Okay.
they look a little bit better when they're brushed out, and so I just brush them out. And the amount of hair that comes out when you brush them out is like alarming. But you think about it, and you brush your hair every day, and hair comes out.
Yeah.
But I just am not brushing my hair, so none of that comes out.
Yeah.
So when I'm like brushing my ends out, I'm like, I end up with like a ball, and I'm
Right.
like, oh, but
Do you feel
that's
like you get
normal.
more like of these?
My just loose
it's
hairs?
like, yeah, because it's
So-
like ripping out, or
No, it's just growing out because these aren't like dreaded in.
Yeah.
And so that's why like a lot of people go to my girl like once a month and they'll get all these hairs like put into dreads and everything will be all nice and like sectioned out and stuff.
Okay.
But I just don't go often enough so everything gets all like wild and I have like these wild hairs and the thing is like my hair is like tangled into this dread and so some of that hair can get like stuck in another dread.
okay.
And so then she'll just go and she can rip them apart, you know, to like put in the other dread, but I just have her like take scissors and just snip them off and section them out and then, you know, crochet it up, buddy. Just get all that hair in there. It's a lot of freaking hair. Like I need them cut again. It's almost been 2 years and I had a foot cut off and it's like touching my butt crack again. I have to move that shit to take a piss.
My!
I don't like that. Well, you get what you get around
You're
here
wrong.
on the
You're
Midwest
wrong.
Happy Hour.
You're wrong.
I know. We're off track. Oh, it's Black History Month. Okay, anyways, we're not really that off track. Dreads. When are you gonna get dreads?
I am not.
I know
I
you
like
always.
my short hair.
Yeah, you always
I
keep your
try-
hair
I-
short.
Yeah.
You had a fro
Yeah,
one
I didn't grow an
time.
afro.
You had a fro for a little
This
bit.
winter, I didn't grow an afro.
No, you didn't.
Last 2
Remember?
years, I did.
Remember
but-
when you grew like a good one, like
I remember
2016-ish, and we went to like Six Flags? I have a picture of us,
It
and
was
you're
like-
just like, you picked it out and everything.
Yeah.
It was so
fun,
good.
but it's also...
That's also another like funny little thing is when you get your hair cut and stuff, or if you let it grow out and like you show up somewhere and people are like, "Wow."
Yeah. I could be like a serial killer or something because I
No,
look
that's
completely
not
different.
what I meant. Oh my god! I just meant
There's
like,
been a couple times though, like I've grown my afro out, and then I went to go get a haircut, and they're like, "Well, you haven't had your hair cut in a while, huh?" And I go, "No, obviously." And then they cut it off, and they're like, "Wow, you look completely different."
yeah, yeah.
Like, well, yeah.
It's fun. Do people ask me about my dreads? Does anybody ever go like, "How do you wash your hair?" Is that, like, do people ever ask you like black people questions in Colfax or anything? I can't think of any like instances where anybody asked you.
No.
Yeah,
I don't think
it's
I've ever had any like
weird
questions like that.
Weird shit like that.
Yeah.
No. I don't think so either. Where's your dad? They're like,
Yeah, that'd be about it right there.
Yeah.
Be like, what? I'll give you one guess. You probably get it right.
Oh my god.
I will say, like, Flint and I watch a lot of, like, prison reform documentaries where it's not, like, specifically talking about prison reform, but ultimately, like, the producer of the documentary, like, that's the
point of it, yeah.
And it is just so crazy. Like, the cycle.
Yeah.
It's insane.
So, like, institutionalized is a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very, very real thing. And
Yeah.
I got a dose of reality of it because one of my younger brothers spent basically his 20s in prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like,
For stupid shit.
yeah, for
Literally
dumb shit,
dumb
but also,
shit.
like, going to prison. Like,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
was 100% like a different, he was institutionalized.
Yeah.
You know, like, there was nothing you could,
When he
couldn't
went
get
in-
away from it. You
Yeah.
know, he's done a lot better now, but, like, I
When he
was
went
like,
in the
oh.
first time, when he got out, there was no way he wasn't going back because he
Right.
didn't know
He
how
was
to.
almost certain he didn't know how to cope
Right.
with like
Yeah.
being out of that scenario or whatever.
And
I'm
in
just
my
like, that
opinion-
is crazy.
His PO was a piece of shit, in my opinion. Like,
Yeah.
you have a
I mean, I
parole
haven't
officer.
heard good things about probation officers.
Parole. When you get out of prison,
Parole.
you're on parole. Yeah, he just didn't care
Oh,
about
so
what.
is parole different than probation?
Yes, when you go to prison and when you get out early release, you're on parole. Probation is when you like get caught with weed and then you can't get caught again on things and have to go take drug tests or something.
Okay.
That's probation. When you don't go to jail, you're on probation. When you go to prison and you get out, you're on parole.
Okay.
And so you have to like report to your parole officer. You have to have like
They
an
can revoke your
address,
sentence. Like basically,
Oh,
you get
they
out
can-
released early, and you have
Yeah.
to see this person, and then
and then they
if
can
you
make you
mess
go
up,
back.
you're done.
Right, which is what happened to your brother because his parole officer didn't give a shit what he was doing. It was weird.
Right.
Like when he would talk about him, he would be like, "Yeah, he doesn't care. Like he said I could drink or whatever." And I'm just like, "That's bad. Your parole officer should be like advocating for you to be like be a good person and stay out of fucking prison." But
Yeah.
he wasn't
You would
like that.
think.
Yeah, which I thought that was like wild. I was like, okay, well, never had to experience this shit before, but you know, yeah, weird. And you're such a good kid, the oldest and the bestest.
I don't know about the bestest, but
Yeah, your mom freaking raised you right, that's for sure, or whatever
well,
she did.
I like to always say, I go, everything I've always seen growing up, I've always been like, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah,
You
know,
and that's
like,
how I was.
You know, like I'm, like not no, don't think I want to do that because I can see like the repercussions of all of it. You know,
Yeah,
it's
same.
like I'm not gonna do that. That don't look like a good idea. You know.
Yeah, you didn't drink until we were like 21,
Mm-hmm.
and I was hitting the bottle.
Yes,
In like high school and stuff. You guys would always be like, "Oh, we bought this watermelon vodka that we don't like."
Or
Like,
the,
what a coincidence.
Green apple pucker.
Yes.
Tyler, I remember he like stole that from Mary Beth and he was like, here. I was like, I ain't drinking that.
Yeah, and then us girls would come over and you guys would be like, "You guys want some drinks? Like, we got some alcohol up in here."
Yep.
Ugh, yeah, good times, good times.
Yeah.
All right, well, you got any other words of wisdom for any? You want to tell the people anything?
Be a good person. At
Yeah.
the end of the day,
I
that's
love
all
it.
that matters.
Yep.
Yes. Oh, and I think it's like a fun fact that you literally have like immersed yourself into like agriculture now. You work at a grain elevator and you have to deal with these old dumb farmers all day. Every day. They're not all old and dumb.
I know.
But,
I'm
like,
just kidding.
most of them are a lot smarter than you think.
I know. Yeah, they're all rich. They didn't just get that way on accident.
Not all of them.
I know.
They're not all big farmers.
God, I just like to say all. Can I just say general?
all
No,
big.
you cannot generalize.
God damn it. Okay.
But I have, yeah.
A lot of
that is-
farmers go into millions and millions dollars of debt because the equipment and
One combine is
farmland.
$750,000
Yeah.
right now.
Without the
And that's
head.
Without the head.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Like, I mean, you're almost at $1 million right there. But
Yeah.
it is kind of wild, too, that I'm in agriculture.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean,
And
not
then,
very
like-
many black people
Right.
are.
Right.
And I just...
And those guys like come to the bar and they're like, "Patrick's a good guy. How does he put up with you?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
I don't know.
You're right though. He is a freaking good guy. They're like, "I like how he runs it over there." Joe's my favorite. He goes like, "I was hauling in the other day and then some guy went when Patrick didn't say so and he started yelling at him and he goes, I don't do anything to piss Patrick off."
I yell.
No, but you were freaking like, "Hey." I'm like, "No, what are you doing?"
This is how we run this right here.
Yeah.
Right.
Online.
Which is why you,
I want to go home to my family. You're going to go home to yours. This is how we're going to run it.
Yeah,
We
it's
wanna be
deadly
safe.
shit. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, shit
You get hurt
happens.
in a hurry.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Fun stuff. Wait, why did you go? Oh, because Cole hooked you up at Alliance. Would you have ever thought, like, let me go work at a grain elevator?
No, not really.
What
I
do
mean,
you-
I always wanted to be like work closer to where we lived
because
at.
you were at Paul Davis before.
Yeah.
And
And I
that
remember that was
sucked.
oh, that was
Dude,
rough.
talk about
You got called in
mentally-
literally 500 times on the weekend that we went camping. And I was like, what is
every time I'd come to sit
I
down in
know.
the camping chair, it'd be like ring, like
Somebody drove through a house.
Really?
Yeah.
Come fix it, you know,
yeah,
whatever.
That was.
yeah.
I am so glad that I do not do that anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I would have made it another year or not. I might have just become a bum. Just be like, Hayley, yeah.
You would have to pick more shifts.
Again.
Yeah, you're gonna have to work full time at the bar.
God damn it! Again! No, just kidding. Just kidding. It was
Man.
fine. We've always worked it out. Like we're always good and make sure that we've been lucky for sure.
Yeah, we've gotten blessed. A lot.
Yes, but we have worked for what we've got, and it's like awesome. And
Yeah,
we love
I think that
camping
is.
and like. What do you? Oh, that's what I was gonna say. What do you think? Like your friends from Bloomington, what do you think that they would think about you? Like you're like, I love camping and I drive a really cool truck and I work at a grain elevator. Would they be like, "Are you okay?"
There's a reason why I don't talk to most of them.
Yeah.
Couple,
yeah.
well, some of them have died
Oh.
due to gangs
Oh.
and gang violence.
Is gang violence really big here in town?
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't... Like, I'm not immersed in that, so I don't know.
It is and it ain't.
When we moved, that's a good one. When we moved to Bloomington, we lived here for like 6 months.
Yeah.
I was like sitting out back, and Patrick came outside too, and I go, "Oh my god, like somebody's shooting off fireworks!" And he goes, "Those are not fireworks."
Yeah.
Pew pew pew. Like we
It
were
was
close
not
enough to the west side that.
Like, you need to come.
Yeah, he was like, "We're not in Colfax anymore."
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are not fireworks. Oh my god.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's super terrible here, but it's definitely gotten worse.
Has it?
Yeah,
But-
I mean, you hear, just read the news, kids. Shit ain't, you know.
But no, like,
great.
most of the people I do talk to still from here in Bloomington, they're always like, it's like fast moving, fast living, you know, like just on to the next thing. Gotta get the most money, you know, gotta do this and this, like, gotta have the shiniest of this, and it's like,
Yeah, no.
I mean,
Yeah.
I get it, yeah, but also, no.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
I think I border the line of like 50-50 in terms of like I like new clothes and I like new things.
Right.
But then I'm like, I'm tired of feeling like I need something else.
Yes.
I'm tired
Right.
of feeling like I need all the things.
I
So-
watched another episode of, what was that old TLC show? Cheapskates or something? Or, it wasn't Extreme Couponers. It was like this adjacent one where people are like, I've had these shorts for 27 years. And they reuse paper towels and shit.
They dry them?
Yes.
Ew.
What
Yes.
was that?
I don't know what that show was, but I just watched it again the other day and I was like, damn. Like that's, or I just saw clips, I guess, and I was like, that is like that. It's funny because I feel the opposite of that sometimes, and sometimes I'm like, I should be more like that. Like, I already have all this shit.
Yeah.
I should just use what I've got
Yeah.
rather than, like, I don't need new stuff.
Yeah.
You know? Like, we're talking about we need, like, an overlanding trailer, and it's like, what do? Do we buy one? Let's build one. Let's buy one. Let's build one.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I don't know. Crazy stuff. Fun stuff.
It is.
Crazy stuff. Yep.
How long have we been going?
An hour.
Oh.
I know.
It goes by so quick.
I know. It really does. I always think, like, it's not going to be long enough. And then
We say that a lot too.
here we are.
Yep.
Do you have any?
He left us with his ending words about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Love you.
Just be a good person, everyone.
Be a good
Be a
person.
good person.
You guys want to drink
It
of
was
this
fun.
one?
I think we're going to
Swirl.
need to go get another one with our lunch.